Yes, good day, class. I welcome you to Office Practice N5, Module 8. I'm quite sure that you see and you understand how big is your module. So for the interest of exam coverage, I'm just presenting to you from the end of the our form or our Office Practice module. So I'm starting from Module 8, presenting up to module 1 coming from the last module. So therefore, you can make sure that everything is covered. Quite often times you find out that when students are in class, they fail to do the last modules, of which those are the ones which are mostly asked in the exam. They've got quite a lot of contribution when it comes to the national examinations that we write. So without wasting any time, we are going to do module 8, which is stock exchange, brokerage and what and functions of JSE, which we are going to understand in terms of the buying and selling of shares, what is stock exchange and so forth. So I've got some key aims that you are supposed to understand when you are going to go through this module. After completing this outcome, you will be able to explain economic importance of stock exchange. You should be able to explain economic importance of stock exchange. That is to say that in any case, you just benchmark yourself based on these aims or objectives of the module. Understand the functions of stock exchange. Why do we have, or what is the importance of stock exchange? Distinguish the meaning of terminology used. We have got quite a lot of terms that are used in this module. We have got shares, we have got brokerage, we have got stock exchange. Quite a lot of them are dividends, and quite a lot of them are here. So what we are supposed to understand is that key terms that are in this module, you need to understand them and maybe be able to distinguish them or give their differences. Know the reasons for buying and selling of shares. Why is it important that shares must be sold? Why is it important for the trading, or what is the importance of trading of shares? You must also have the knowledge of the methods of buying and selling of stock. How is shares sold? How is the trading? How does it go on? And of course, you have insight into press release. What is press release and how does it work, and what is its importance? So I've got just made this introduction. The discovery of Whitewater and Goldfield in 1886, and the subsequent formation of mining and financial companies. Mining and financial companies, I'm sure that you quite understand the importance of mines, our natural resources, which is one of the most important one, minerals. And then the financial companies meant investors needed a facility through which to buy and sell shares. In this regard, it just brings you to an understanding of saying that there is important factors to consider here, which has to do with wealth. Wealth was being created and how to manage and secure it. Hence, there was a need to to establish the methods of buying and selling of that money. We have got Benjamin provided that facility when he founded the JSE stock in 1887. And sometimes, our examiners, they've been going through this quite a lot, where they can just ask you on multiple choice questions, who founded the JSE? Who founded the JSE? Please note that JSE was founded by Benjamin Holland, who founded it in 1887. JSE was founded by Benjamin Holland. I'm sure that you must not forget that. Please take note of that. The main man who was behind this was Benjamin Holland, the founder. He was the founder of the JSE. The founder of JSE is Benjamin Holland. So what we are saying is that sometimes this question might also appear it might also appear as a multiple choice question. JSE And also just sometimes also just understand what is the meaning of JSE. Others will just see it written JSE even on the news and everywhere else. JSE stands for Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It's the largest stock exchange in Africa. I'm sure that you can as well need to understand that our African continent has got the largest stock exchange, which is the JSE. It is at the corner of Mount Street and Gwen Lane in Sandton, Johannesburg, South Africa, and is presently the 16th largest stock exchange worldwide. I'm sure like you can understand the competitiveness of JSE being the 16th largest stock exchange across the world, as to say globally, everywhere around the world, it is the 16th largest stock exchange. So one other thing is that JSE is also planning to extend and create Pan-African exchange by initially establishing investors to trade in shares from other African countries, such as what we have got Ghana, such as Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. Later, it can also extend across the rest of Africa, but the primary countries that JSE or South Africa is targeting to establish some African relationships primarily are what are those four countries that I've just mentioned here. We have got Ghana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, as to say they are the primary countries which are intended or which are on the target of what of JSE to establish and enter into their relationship. Economic importance of stock exchange. What is the importance of stock exchange? And then I want you to understand that this also can also appear in our final exam, asking what is the importance of stock exchange. Identify the importance of stock exchange. One, economic importance of stock exchange. We are saying linking two economic forces. We are saying for the development of the country, or for the growth of investment and development in a country, economic stock exchange lies with its ability to link the two economic forces in the capitalist economy or a system that appear to be irreconcilable, to say that they need to be connected. And then on that regard, what you need to understand is that we do have on one side, we have got those who have got funds, whom we call investors. We have got investors, and on the other side, there are those who need capital or capital for economic development, whom we call entrepreneurs. So the stock exchange, or the economic importance of stock exchange, it brings into contact the investors and entrepreneurs within their endeavor to develop the country, or in their effort to bring economic growth. So the stock exchange provides a link between investors and entrepreneurs, where entrepreneurs, they would need money, capital, to sell, to run or to start businesses. And then investors would also want to have companies where they would also put their money in order for it to give them rewards, or to give them dividends, which we call profits on their investment. So that's one key important, linking economic forces. And then two, creating wealth for all. Number two, is to say, what is the importance of stock exchange? It also creates wealth for all, even though the investors and entrepreneurs have different motives. Of course, you understand that both interests are served by the stock exchange, and thus wealth is created for all. I'm sure that you understand that having the relationship or the connection between investors and entrepreneurs, we are saying wealth is created for all. In what regard? We have got in creation of employment. When investors put their money into certain businesses expand. The expansion of the businesses provide employment opportunities, which can also be very important for every other people who are within the country or citizens of the country. We also talk about even the entrepreneurs, the money that they get, they can also after selling their shares, what the money that they get can also be used in diversification of their businesses, in terms of expanding their businesses, many other economic investment that they can do, which at the end of the day, those economic investments are creating wealth for everyone who is within the country. It also provides the mining industries. Funding mining industries. The JSE was founded to raise funds for the development of mining industry as a primary reason why it was formed. Was founded to raise funds for the development of mining industry. The majority of the companies listed today, however, are non-mining organizations, which would see now that that was development within or upon the JSE primary motive. So what we are saying is that JSE, it provides funding to businesses in general, which we can say these businesses, not only mining industry, but many other which are not within the mining industry. Now we see them also having their shares being traded and managed through the JSE. The role of stock market or the role of stock exchange. Basically, what you need to understand is that the stock market or stock exchange, it is actually providing a marketplace whereby shares can be traded. In this context, you are given just this scenario here. It is just given to explain a situation whereby a private organization or a private running institution is to sell shares, where they would just have to look for someone who would want to buy the shares by word of mouth or by some personal efforts. However, we are saying through the JSE, it is quite important that these shares can be easily traded. So what happens is that when shares are sold at an individual level, whereby individuals or people are selling and buying shares, it is always a problem because there is quite a lot of monotonous work, quite a lot of too much work. There is quite a lot of tiring work, which that work is quite handled and scientifically done through the stock market or the stock exchange. So the stock exchange eliminates the difficulties that exist in terms of the buying and selling of shares. So it solves the problems that arises in terms of stock in terms of stock trading. That's what you need to understand. So by definition, a stock exchange is a marketplace. It is a marketplace, usually a building or a part of a building where shares can change hands for a consideration. So we are saying where shares are what? Where shares are traded or are sold. That is a stock exchange, where shares are what are sold and are what are exchanged hands. So it's a marketplace basically, whereby it can be a building or a part of a building where shares are sold for, for specific considerable values that are determined by what? By professionals. How does it work? How the stock market or stock exchange work? The performance or the running of the stock market. Stock is publicly traded. Stocks in publicly traded companies are bought and sold as stock market. That's one thing, class, that you should understand, that the stock that we are talking about, which is sold, it is specifically from public companies. It is public companies that have got the right or that have the space of buying and selling their shares through the stock market, which we are also saying it is called the stock exchange. Stock market and stock exchange is one of the same thing. So the JSE is an example of such a market. JSE is an example. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange is an example of what? Of a stock exchange market. JSE is a supermarket for stock. In other words, we are just saying it is a marketplace where stock is sold. It can be regarded as a big room where everyone everyone who wants to buy and sell shares of stocks can go to do their buying and selling. So in any case, what we are saying or what you need to understand is that the buying or the trading of shares is done through the JSE, where we can just give it as a marketplace for what? For stock, where we can just say that it is a place where shares are sold and traded. So that is what we mean by this stock market, and it is actually for public companies. That's one thing that you should understand. It is for public companies. Please note that. And then in terms of this again, I'm saying don't forget the definition of what of a stock exchange market. I've just mentioned that. I've already elaborated on that. So please take note. What is the definition? What is the meaning of a stock exchange? It's quite important. And then how do it the determination of stock price? How is the stock price determined? Determination of stock price. The stock exchange has an interesting side effect, which we are saying there is something that is quite interesting. This because all of the buying and selling is concentrated in one place. The buying and selling is concentrated in one place. The price of stock can be realized a second of the day, any second of the day. The price of stock can be realized any second of the day. That is to say that the pricing or the selling price of shares is always available to people. The investors can watch as stocks prices fluctuate based on the news from the company media reports, national economic news, and many other sources. So in other words, what we are saying, class, is that, or what you need to understand is that the price of shares is determined by the performance of the what? By the performance of the company. Which is the performance of company? It is actually publicized. It is broadcasted through various medias. There are quite a lot of media companies or media reports which are available or which are broadcasted to people in order for people just to know the economic viability or the status quo or how the company is running. So investors who always watch the price changes based on the news that are provided through our media reports, and these provide quite a lot of important news, which we are saying that performance report or those performance reports of companies will determine the prices of what of those shares. For example, let's say that there is a company selling shares, and then the company has got some bad reputation because of the bad image, the bad reputation of that organization. The share prices are also vulnerable to be affected in the case that they would want to sell shares, because people and investors would not like to be associated with such bad reputations or bad images that will be sold or that will be trading there. So please note that, the performance of the company defines the prices, which is also done through some special or some qualified brokers and individuals involved there. So buyers and sellers take all these factors into account, which we are talking about there. We are saying buyers and sellers, where a company is extremely performing good, obviously the seller is at the edge of what of enjoying some extreme advantages, because he can be able to define or try to get the best prices that he would want. The price of stock also reflects the dividend that the stock pays and the projected earnings of the company in the future. So what you need to understand is that the stock price can also provide a reflection on the profits that the company would give, or what the profits that the company would have. So the profits that the company is giving defines the dividends. The dividends, which we are saying the share prices, as to say a company has got 10 investors, 10 shareholders. The 10 shareholders would earn what you call dividends, which are called profit sharings based on their share investment. So the share investment, of course, defines how much percentage of profit the person would earn, but which is at the end of the day affected by the profit margins or the profit performances of the company. So these are also projected earnings of the company in the future, which we are saying that they define the stock price of shares. Let's look into the functions of JSE. Functions of JSE. Uh, Functions of JSE were one, the primary function of JSE is to raise primary capital. It actually provides the money for investment for companies and businesses. It provides money for funding of various businesses when they are to sell their shares there. The JSE is an essential cog in the functioning of the capitalist economy, as to say that it defines the ways in which functions or operations would run with regard to the trading and selling of shares. It is the one that influences that those kind of functions. It provides new investment opportunities in the country. Uh, provision of new investment opportunities. Provision of new investment opportunities is actually noted as a result of the funding that it gives also, and as well as publicizing information on company performances, which would also be given and can also be bought by various investors, increasing the economic performance of the country. It helps create more jobs opportunities. That is quite important. It creates more job opportunities. JSE helps to create more job opportunities by assisting public companies in terms or resuscitating public companies through the selling of shares, by also ensuring that the shares are sold at best reasonable prices without manipulation and without losses, which are quite good advantages, which would provide more capital for investment into businesses in order to expand those kind of businesses. JSE provides an effective and efficient price determination facility and price risk management mechanisms. Price risk management mechanisms are put in place whereby the prices are actually evaluated, like I said, by professionals and through scientific measures and means, which we are saying that they are effective price determinants, which would provide the best possible price for either selling and buying of shares. So in that regard, there is no monopolization, there is no manipulation, there is no ways through which either of the parties involved in the trading of shares might also suffer some problems, because in terms of this, it provides the transparency and the openness to buying or to trading of shares. It creates a well-controlled and orderly environment for trading in negotiable securities. I'm sure that we can agree as a class that a well-controlled and orderly environment is created through JSE, that individuals do not do things according to their own interest, according to any ways of maybe hijackings or ways of trying to be mafias and so forth. In terms of business, actually business is officialized through the JSE, which it actually controls by providing standards, providing rules and regulations, which would define the order of the day and the running of or the trading of shares. It mobilizes capital that contribute towards development and wealth. That is quite true. Mobilization of capital that is needed for development and wealth, it is done through the JSE. Links investors to entrepreneurs. That's when we also talked about in the first place there, where we said that investors and entrepreneurs, they are linked together through the JSE, which is quite important. That one would want investment, another one would want capital. So that communication link or that communication chain is actually facilitated through the JSE. It creates the opportunity for the whole population to share in the success of profitable business ventures. I'm sure that you know that as businesses are profit making, are well performing, the whole population would also benefit in that respect. We are saying opportunities for whole population to share the success of profitable business ventures, as to say that information is not hidden with regard to business performances. And in that respect, we are saying the share performances or the performances of those businesses are benefiting the country or would benefit the country as a whole. It serves as a barometer of country's political stability and economy, serves as a barometer of country's political stability. In this regard, we are saying as a measurement, a barometer is as a measurement. It is providing a measurement. It provides a measurement of a country's political stability and economy. Where a country is in a well stable country, or when a country is well balanced and stable, the financial or economic standards of it would always be viable. So what happens is that it provides information to states SA, it provides information to many other representative or more important relevant bodies where information will be required in terms of understanding the economic stability or the economic viability of the country. So the information or the states which is available or which is found from the JSE, it is used in terms of that evaluation of economic stability. Because when the country is unstable, would have would have bad performances, would have extreme detrimental share prices falls and so forth, which are also quite important in terms of sustainable governing and running of the country. The JSE offers investment the choice of 4 markets. JSE offers investors the choice of 4 markets, which are those ones: an equity market, including stock for the main board, as well as small to medium cap alternative exchange. So it provides what equity market, which is available including for the main board, and also an interest rate market, as to say how is the interest rate running, or what is the interest rate performances for the various markets, for the various investors and so forth. So what we are saying, or what you need to understand, is that it provides investors the choice of 4 markets in terms of understanding the interest rate, and also an active financial derivative market, as to say how is the financial performance of the country running, as well as agricultural product markets. I'm sure these, you can even understand them, as you can see from our news every time when we have got news reporting or we have got news updates. These kind of information benchmarks are always provided. So please take note that these are the investors' choice markets, which are linked to JSE. So don't make mistakes. Understand this and keep in touch by subscribing and turning on your notification button so that you won't be lost. Thank you very much and have a good day. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next presentation. Just keep on following the channel for more updates. Like I told you, that last chapters are always a challenge, and please take note of this. Thank you.